Hello there, and welcome to Dezperate Actor, the YouTube channel. It's me, Steve Des from Dezperateactor.com, and today we're going to be talking about moving to Los Angeles. In this particular series, these days of the week, I am going to be recapping for you, slowly but surely, my journey throughout the industry. Whenever I have footage or pictures that I can show, I will definitely put them alongside the video, just so you get a reference point about it. But in this particular episode, we're going to be talking about my personal move to Los Angeles, California. So I moved to Los Angeles, California back in 2011. And how it happened for me was more like late 2011. So how it happened for me was earlier in the year, I was in an acting class in Florida. So at the time, I was going dually to Santa Fe Community College in Gainesville, Florida. I was going to say California for a second, Florida. And I was also going to University of Florida in Gainesville, Florida. And at the time, I was really into theater. I was just getting my feet wet with improv. I was part of this team called Theater Strike Force in University of Florida. And I was doing this acting exercise that is about walking in the space and slowly but surely getting into character. So I was doing this character that was a character that was having some issues, a character that's autistic. I remember the name of the monologue itself was called Dreaming in Autistic Colors, something like that. And for some reason, for some weird reason, after doing the exercise just for a few minutes, everything just fell off for me. I just felt like I wasn't really getting into character and things weren't necessarily happening for me. So I ended up like just essentially stopping the exercise and just going straight to my teacher, this wonderful guy. I hope he's doing amazingly well. Greg Jones, great teacher. And I told him, hey, I'm not feeling this character. For some reason, this character just seems off. It doesn't seem like I can find him. So I think it's best for me to change, to not do this original one that I picked and for me to pick something different. And he asked me, hey, do you have time like after class? And I said, yeah, I have like about an hour or so between this class and my next class. So he's like, oh, just come to my office and I'll help you out. And I'm like, okay, cool. So after class was done, I actually went to his office and we were talking a little bit of how I was feeling and everything. And he said, you know what? Just sit down. I have a lot of scripts. I'll find something for you. And this dude had piles and piles and piles of scripts in his office. But I'm a person that I am self-diagnosed because it's not doctor diagnosed, like a little ADD. So I can't just be sitting still doing nothing. I have to kind of be doing something. So I started walking around the same way I was walking in the space in the classroom. I was walking in the space of his office. And I was just noticing little things that were in his office. And I noticed this little poster that said, hey, do you like acting? Come to this conservatories in New York, as in LA. Jason Derulo graduated from here. This person graduated from here. Take time and audition and things like that. And I was like, that looks interesting. And I asked my teacher at the time that he was so busy just going through scripts and scripts and scripts. I said, hey, so what about this conservatory? Like, what do you like it? Like, what do you have this poster here? He said, oh yeah, it's a great conservatories in New York and California as well. And yeah, they have like really, really good students. And a lot of people have become very successful after going to that school. I said, interesting. Do you think a person like me should even consider auditioning for such a school? And he's like, yeah, because like, you know, you're one of my most overachieving students in the sense of like you're a hard worker. Look at you spending your free time here, like trying to get a new character and everything. So yeah, I think you should give it a shot if that's something you're thinking about. And I'm like, interesting. So when I went home, I did my research. And most of the time, so the name of the school is called AMDA, the American Musical Dramatic Academy. And the only bad thing that I saw about the school at the time in like forums and stuff, that people were calling it scamda, like they scam you of money and things like that. But I was like, it doesn't seem too bad. Like, I mean, what do I lose? $50 and like a day of auditioning. So I ended up applying for it. I sent my $50 application. It's an application fee. Then you set up the date. And then on that day, you show up with your headshots, your resume, all that good stuff. So I drove from Gainesville to Orlando, Florida. And when I was in Orlando, Florida, the night before, a friend of mine invited me to her homecoming party. I didn't want to go, but she was really sad if I didn't go. So I went. I had more than a few drinks, and I was feeling really sick. And I ate McDonald's that morning, and I remember throwing up way before my audition. I was like, "Oh my god, this is gonna be horrible." And on the way there, I didn't actually was driving my car. I remember driving my sister's car, which at the time she told me, "Hey, drive in the right lane because the wheels are not as great." So I remember driving in the right lane, and I actually got stopped. I got pulled over by a cop, and I got a ticket way before my audition. Not only did I throw up, but I got a ticket as well. Not because of drunk driver or anything like that. I was completely fine. But it was more about driving on. There's certain states that when you drive on the right lane, you're not supposed to pass certain cars that are parked in the emergency line and things like that. Blah blah blah. Little but little story short, basically, I got a ticket. I threw up. It was a very bad morning. Then I'm waiting to do my audition and I actually go and I do. It was two contrasting monologues and I did them. And after my audition, the lady was just one lady that was like evaluating me. She gave me so many praises, but I'm talking about she was praising me for it felt like an eternity, but it was about 10, 15 minutes of just praises of like, oh my God, you remind me of this writer, and you remind me of this actor, and you remind me of John Leguizamo, and you remind me of this person and that person, and just praising me. And I just thought it was normal. I just thought it's like, oh, they do this to everybody, I guess. But after I was done, I was seeing other people just literally coming in and out, like they were doing their thing and coming out. So I was like, interesting. I guess I did better than a lot of people. And then after that, you get a little portion that's like an interview for you, just about your background and things like that. In the interview, I didn't do so well. I don't remember doing like amazing compared to my actual audition. And yeah, I was just like, I did it. Whatever happens, happens. It's cool. If I get it, cool. If I don't get it, cool. Weeks later, about, I would say 5 weeks later, I receive a phone call and I'm getting offered a partial scholarship because it's not a full ride. I still had to pay something. Uh, a partial scholarship to go to either New York or Los Angeles. New York was already completely X'd out of my system because I never really, I lived in New York briefly when I was a little kid, and I don't like cold temperatures. I'm very acclimated to hotter temperatures, whether it's humid or not. I'm more acclimated to those type of temperatures. And my dream, my goal was to go to LA, to go to Hollywood, to go to the big leagues to see if I can amount to anything or something. And I ended up picking Los Angeles. Me and my mom made like a little deal because she could help me a little bit financially in the beginning because it was going to cost a lot of money, not just the trip itself, but actually staying there, eating food, paying for my dorm, paying for the school. Like all these things were factors that I needed to consider, but it was my absolute dream to go there. I said, no matter what it is that I have to do, I'll do it. I'll work my ass off. At the time, I was working in a movie theater. I was working in a restaurant. I was pushing YouTube videos. I was doing everything. I was a boat detailer. I was cleaning boats for people on the weekends. I was doing everything I could to just save and scrap a little pile of money where I wouldn't feel too stressed of like, hey, I just came to LA and I'm moving next month because I don't have enough money. So I was doing everything I could in order to like pile up as much money as I could and to live these dreams. And when I arrived to Los Angeles back in this was October 2011, so months have gone by at this point, and I received the call around April, and by October I was already in LA. And boy, it was such a crazy adventure. I remember like as it was yesterday when I moved to Los Angeles, and it was like about 2, 3 in the morning when I arrived, and I was supposed to go to sleep because the next day I was going to move into my dorm. And I was glued to like the window of my driver at the time, because I was like, wow, look, the Hollywood Walk of Fame. It looks a little dirtier than I imagined, but it's okay. It's the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And I was like, wow, I just couldn't believe I was here. I was in LA. I was in Hollywood. I was here. Like everything just seemed like a dream. Like I had to literally pinch myself multiple times because it was crazy that I was dreaming for this moment for so long, and it happened. And it can happen to you. And there's so many details about this story that I'm going to be covering every single week, this same day in this channel, about everything that I went through in this journey and how I got to a person that literally was a desperate actor, and I became a professional working Hollywood actor. It took me years to figure everything out, but it doesn't have to take years for you. If you want a step by step guide on how to get started in the Hollywood industry and how to not be lost like I was in the past, go to desperateactor.com. We have tons of resources for you, from free podcasts, free YouTube videos. We have premium programs and courses. We have coaching and a bunch of different things to literally help you propel your career forward. So if this is something that you would like to get to know more about, definitely go to desperateactor.com and check it out. Anywho, take care, guys. Don't forget to like, share it, subscribe, and comment below what's been like your favorite part of this little story time journey that I talked about. And I'll catch you on the next one. Take care and have a wonderful rest of your day.